Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Ebo Richards. I am the founder and the CEO of CORP Exchange. And we have a company called Economics Corner, which brings us pretty much economic data on human beings on the planet Earth and how they interact through economies. This is a new segment. We have a blog of it. For those who don't know, this is the second airing of Economics Corner, and we get to advertise. So here you see Braga Design, which helps, you know, just helps with the funding and stuff because for some reason advertising, I mean, performing on the making the video, it just seems to get more and more expensive. So here we're at one of our office locations in Miami, Florida, and we have a report that came in, and we take the topics from the people, mostly our customers and clients and patrons and patients and people like that. We take their ideas and we research it through Moxe research, and we give it back to you via video television. Also, this is IZ Corp Exchange Television. This is the Braga wing. This is a shirt designed by Braga Design, and it runs you $250. You can just pick it up. It's fairly comfortable. And I have to tell you, the only thing constant in life is change. And that came from one of my guys, Dick Cumberland. So you'll always hear that. The only thing constant in life is change. So this segment is called What's Happening. And what we're doing is, in this part, we're just evaluating the social classes and just giving you an idea, evaluating classes. So you can find out, because the goal is to, for this segment, what's happening, which will probably be 3 or 4 videos long, 6 minute clips, is we're getting to what one of the good women, I think from California, was mentioning. We're defining the wealth gap. And I think that's very important for people to understand in economics, is why people get wealthy and why we hear people say, well, the rich get richer and the poor get worse. So before we start doing anything, we have to understand what's happening. So we evaluate the classes. So you have classes, age groups, and cultures. The classes, to begin with, the classes is the main function of social classes is social economics class. And the main goal is the mean of production. With that being said, you have cultural, political, and educational status. These are very, very important. And then the final one is working. Now, when you say the working classes, what you're gearing up to is professional. So it's not a working class; it's a professional class. And these define the concepts of social classes through social science. So you have to understand that. And then there's the behavior and the functionalism. The behavior is the function, and then there's history that goes along with it. Next, you have age groups. Age groups. We say, well, who is the next big fill? In my corner, which is Economics Corner, we see that the baby boomer is the big thing going on right now. They're coming out. Insurance is a big platform here on the exchange, even in this part of the country. And saving and protecting is what one of our firms in good standings in the IZ Corp Exchange with the Well-Off Fund is what we help individuals, families, and businesses do, is to save and protect themselves from themselves. Because, the only constant in life is change. That's true, but people lose money or people aren't ready for life because they didn't save and protect themselves. When people say, well, I'm doing me, you have to make sure that you're saving and protecting yourself, or else you can't help anybody. You're always going to be on with the handout end. Yeah, that's all well and good, but the goal is so you can help the next person coming through, or the next generation, or your legacy coming through. You want to be able to help. So we say, who's the next big fill? And you know, the baby boomers are coming in with the largest transfer of wealth. But then when you look, you have from Jones, this is only adults, from Generation Jones to the millenniums. If you really take a look at it to break down, and that's another segment, the Jones, I'm sorry, the millenniums are more than the baby boomers. So whatever you're experiencing now, if it pauses, it'll probably pick up again if they don't learn from what's going on now. So if you see people coming in with the largest transfer of wealth, if 401s and Social Security and all that continues, 20, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, 20, 30, 40 years from now, the same thing will be happening. So if you just put that in a box and say, wow, this is the big picture here. This part of the world would be a thriving community as far as age groups go, because there's more millennials than there is baby boomers. And not much has changed as far as saving and protecting. So that's just the point. So those are your age groups. You know, you have the Jones Generation X, which is probably our age group, and then you have the millenniums. So you need to understand that, because that helps trends and falls back into classes and what we're going into next, culture. When I was coming up, you know, that's when the hip hops and the fancy clothes started and sports was blowing up. That's part of our culture. Manifesting of human intelligence. That's what culture is. So it involves sociology, anthropology, and you have to understand that there's 4 elements of culture. Symbols, value, language, and norms. The symbols, I mean, whatever's hot, whatever's whatever. It is what it is, you know, for different age groups, for different classes, for different times. You have symbols. You have values. Standards of good and desirable acceptance. That's what the values are. This is not, you know, this is deemed not good for this establishment. You know, you go to a rock concert, people are having a good time. You go to a church, people are praying. You know, there's different values with different groups. And again, what's not mentioned, what I'm throwing in as far as being my say, weather and terrain has a lot to do with culture as well. But that's not mentioned as an element. No two cultures are the same. You have to understand that. So they might mirror each other for a bit, but they're not the same. Emerging markets as a whole, and in conclusion, we'll say emerging markets as a whole, many economists will argue, and I will argue, and I will even put this out there for other economists, that cultures that accept the elements and diverse themselves, cultures that accept the elements and they diverse themselves, they thrive more, because the elements, when you bring, like, let's just take Europe for example, you know, they welcome everybody. The United States is another good one. You know, everything is welcome. They have a good justice system, fair equality. You know, you can't be racist and biased in these cultures. And there's many others like that, maybe not so advanced. But these cultures that diverse themselves through accepting all of the cultural elements, they thrive more and are recognized more as global leaders in society. This is Mr. Ebo Richards. You've seen Economics Corner. This is our second segment. Keep an eye out for Economics Corner, a member of CORP Exchange in good standings. And feel free to come in and get economic consultation. It's like $575 an hour. It can help your family. We have a bunch of people that we can steer you in the right direction. And I have to tell you, the only thing constant in life is change. That was from one of my boys, Mr. Dick Cumberland. Thank you and have a great day. And oh, by the way, you've been watching CORP Exchange, Economics Corner on CORP Exchange television.